Today, I'm going to show you how to make the easiest bow you have ever seen. Let's get to it. Not only is this easy to do, but you can do it whether you are doing one color, multiple colors, a large bow, a small bow. All you need is some wired ribbon and a zip tie. You're going to go ahead and cut your ribbon into strips, and I would recommend anywhere from 15 inches to 3 feet depending on how large you want your bow to be. I generally will go ahead and cut one strip and use it as a guide to help me cut my other strips. Depending on how thin your ribbon is and how full you want your bow to be, you're going to cut between 9 to 15 strips to make the loops and another 3 to 5 to make the tails. So once you've decided how many strips of ribbon you need, then you'll divide that based off the number of ribbons you're using in your bow. So here I'm using 3 different ribbons. I've decided to cut 3 of each strip for the loops, and then I'm using the same ribbon on the top as well as for the tail, so I cut an additional 3 strips. Now you simply take all of the ribbon that you are going to use for your loops and you're going to fold it in half, making sure the centers overlap each other. And then after you have them all folded in half, you're going to stack them in order that you want them. And then you're going to lay them on top of your tails. This is where the zip tie comes in hand. You're going to flip it over. You're going to take that zip tie, make sure you hawk dog it up and zip tie it closed. Snip off that extra, and then you're going to take another piece of ribbon to cover up that zip tie, and you're going to hot glue that around to cover up that zip tie. Now that the structure of this is done, it is time to fluff up your bow. It is time for you to get pretty aggressive with it. That is why you want to make sure that you have a good 1.5 to 2 inches of that ribbon overlapping so that it will not come out from underneath that zip tie. So get in there, move those loops around and get them situated where you want them. It's kind of like pulling a braid apart. Think about it like that. Get those all situated where you want. You want to make sure that your loops are both going vertically and horizontally, as well as it has a good loopage going all the way around, not just gathered up on one side or the other. So don't be afraid to pull those loops apart, get in there, have some fun, and get a nice full bow. The finishing touch is to trim those tails. I like to do a nice little dovetail by folding it in half and starting on one end and cutting up towards the center to give that nice little V shape. I think that is the perfect finishing touch. Now this is ready to add to a wreath or a piece of decor, top of a tree, on a gift, wherever you want to place it. I use the same technique for this bow here on this door hanger. I'm telling you, this is going to be the easiest bow that you ever make. If you know anyone else that struggles with bows, make sure you share this video so we can all be a bunch of bow geniuses. If you make one of these bows, please tag me at a little bit of calm and crazy and use the hashtag crazyziptiebow. For a really quick and easy way to hang your beautiful bow, just take a chenille stem pipe cleaner, wiggle it through that ribbon that is hiding that zip tie. Once you have it on there, now you can hang your beautiful bow on your treetop, on your wreath, or wherever else you choose to hang your beautiful bow. So this is an example of a really large bow. This one is where I cut the strips 36 inches in length. I have 15 strips in the center for the loops and 5 for the tails. Another tip would be consider making your tails extra long if you are placing your bow on top of your tree. That way they can cascade down your tree. Here is an example of a smaller bow. I'm using Dollar Tree ribbon. I cut a total of 12 strips of ribbon at 18 inches. I use 9 of those for the loops and 3 of those for the tails. This technique even works on simple bows. If you've ever tied a bow and had the hardest time keeping the right side out when you were sitting there tying it, here's an easier way to do it. You're going to go ahead and cut your ribbon just like we did before. This time I'm going to cut one piece at 18 inches, another one at 16 inches because I'm going to double up and have a double layered bow. And for my tails, I'm cutting 2 pieces, both at 14 inches each. From there, you're going to take your 2 pieces that are going to be now your loops, fold those in half so that your centers now will overlap. Once you have those folded, you're going to stack those on top of each other, then stack them on top of your tails, fold those over, take your zip tie. You'll notice that I didn't pull my zip tie all the way closed so that I have a little bit of a fatter center. If you want a skinnier center, go ahead and zip tie it as tight as you want to. After that, to hide that zip tie, you're just going to take another piece of ribbon, wrap it around, and hot glue that on. Then it's time to trim your tails. I like to do a dovetail by just starting on one end and angling it up towards the center, giving a nice little V. Once your tails are all trimmed, then you just need to fluff up your bow. You can leave your tails straight out. You can maneuver them so that they come down. There are so many different ways to kind of play with such a simple bow like this. I absolutely love it. It'll look great on a wreath, in your tree, on a package. This would also make a great little hair accessory for a little girl. So many different options with this style of a bow. This bow was made with the exact same technique. The only difference is for that middle ribbon hiding the zip tie, I folded under the edges before hot gluing it to hide that zip tie so it wouldn't be as thick. I think this bow turned out absolutely beautiful. To see more easy DIYs, check out this video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!